Shut up and sit down.
I'm gonna press record. We're gonna get going.
Let's get it going.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Pigskin Pricks. We're at week 8, about the halfway point of the NFL season, boys. We're making it. Look at this. Season's still going.
You guys realize this is episode 25, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's
we are going places.
A milestone.
That is for sure. That is a milestone.
A definite milestone.
We're a quarter of the way to 100. Look at us.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great way to look at it, man. I like it.
Look at it this way. We'll get through the season and we won't even hit 50.
Wow.
You know what? The glass is a quarter full.
That's right.
That's
right.
Beautiful. I love it. Well,
go ahead. Go ahead, Deb.
I was going to ask, what are you guys drinking to celebrate episode number 25? The quarter-century mark.
I'm glad you asked that question, because I brought something incredibly special because it is the 25th episode. And no, I'm actually bringing something called Kingdom Blonde Ale.
Nice.
World champions. They made this. Golden Road Brewing Company made this after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl championship. So I have yet to have one, but I thought, in honor of our 25th episode, I thought I would bring the Blonde Ale, world champion beer, to show off.
All right.
Here goes, boys.
I like it. That is special. That's great.
I didn't even open it, so get a little. Oh, it smells like a beautiful blonde.
Like a blonde ale, like a beautiful blonde. How would you know what this smell like, Joe? You've never been close.
Quit it.
Wait a minute. Leah is blonde.
It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Man.
Because it's cheap.
Give us the details.
No, I know. Well, the can in itself, it alone, before I even tasted the beer, gets an 8 at least. But after tasting the beer, I'm going to give this a 9.4.
Wow,
nice.
That's a good rating.
That's my highest score that I've given to any beer.
Absolutely.
So far, it's just that good. Now, the nice thing is they're selling cases of these at the store. I will be purchasing.
Give me some, please. Give
me
a case.
They're really, and just, I mean, come on. Let me show it one more time.
Oh, look at it! I like the kind of the background golden icons and shit.
Yes,
like holographic looking. That is very cool. You couldn't see that earlier. That's very cool.
Oh yeah,
like a red.
I'm glad logo. Yeah. So this is the championship beer that they brewed in honor of the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. So 9.4. It's outstanding for a blonde ale.
Wow.
And not just because it's the Chiefs beer. I mean, it really is that good.
But that helped. That was an 8.4 right out of the gate. So I won't even talk about this one. Oh, shit. Let's hope I don't get fucked. I'm just going to make it happen. But this is my bourbon thing, but I decided I wouldn't talk about one of those. And it's even though it's a different one. Because I had some other cool things to talk about. Come on.
There it is.
It has to be in front of me. So it's from Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas, Free State beer. We were there last weekend before last.
I like Free State.
So this is a sour, guava toss sour. So we were there because it was my oldest daughter's birthday, and her husband really like sours. So we got a variety of them. And actually, one of Mirage, as Joe knows, one of our family friends said, you really should get that. If they have it, get the guava sour. And they did. So I grabbed it. Everybody liked it. We had to buy more. So I've had it, put away, but I'm going to still go over it because it was cool. And there's a limited supply here now that I'm back in Tennessee. Even though the sun's shining on me, it looks like I'm at the beach. We have about as much water as there is behind me, but it's coming from the sky right now.
Hey, can you spell that for me? Because I sure as hell didn't see the can and it's disappearing.
Right, you got Free State, right? You got that part.
Yeah, I got Free State. I know it's Free
Guava,
State.
Guava.
Guava.
Toss. TAS. Sour.
Oh, toss.
Yep, guava toss, like a
Spanish
name, kind of.
Sour. Got it.
Or Latin American, they say. All right, so it's poured. Let's get it back in front of my face so you can see it.
Yeah.
Now you can't see
Looks
me,
good.
but you can see the beer.
It's a great color.
I put it in where my daughter works as a bartender as her extra job, Henry T's. So she's been there forever in Topeka, Kansas, as well as Lawrence. At least it was kind of back to the home style thing. So who cares if you can see it now? Mm.
Now you've
How much of a smell?
already had
I've
this
had it.
beer, right?
I've had it, but I've been drinking a bourbon and diet root beer. So it's got a different flavor, so that helps. It's not too sour. So the beauty of this is, even though it's a sour, it's not like crazy, skunky, weird sour. It's more like lemonade sour.
Okay. All right.
From a sour aspect, not necessarily the taste. The taste is not even heavy guava, but a tropical, light, refreshing beer. Let's see. It is probably on the sour scale of beer ratings. It is definitely up there. We're going to give it an 8.8.
Wow, you guys are drinking nice tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, again,
Look at you.
Even if you don't like sours, you've got a chance at liking this beer if you like kind of lighter, refreshing,
Yeah, I would like that.
lemonade-y things. That's not the lemonade stand. It's definitely not like that lemonade. Yeah, Joe, you probably can get your hands on this if you go anywhere close to Topeka. We got it in Kansas City, so
Okay.
definitely in that area. It's
Nice.
I'll definitely pick some up. Yeah.
And
Free State makes a lot of good beers.
They do.
Quite a bit more in town. Yep.
a nice tropical beer for your tropical climate.
Right. For my background, like I said, it's funny, as you guys already know, but for the viewers, I'm in my wife's craft room, hence the background. But I got this really cool light going on that makes it look like I got sunshine on.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fitting.
Yeah.
The light is fitting.
It really
It's-
kind of goes. So if I lean forward.
This is a much better picture. You don't look like Mother Teresa,
Right, because I didn't put my
Lisa,
headphones on.
when you lean, because your head doesn't half disappear.
Right.
So that is good. We can deal with the beer because that's a short lived. But when your head kept disappearing, it was like, oh
That was
man,
kind of freaky. Yeah, it's,
like
this is not uncommon problem. Anybody that I've seen use a background, if they have a headset on it, does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just the way
Yeah.
this app
That's
works.
the
They
Zoom
need to-
thing.
They need to get that app figured out, like the depth, and just get it right. But see,
Yep.
look at magic. The background disappears.
well, as much as I love your background, can you pull up the picks board, please?
Oh,
Yes,
sure.
let's jump into it. Let's get into
Let's
the
go to
picks.
the picks. I was
Are we-
just really enjoying the background, Joe.
No, the
I mean,
background
it
is
looks
great.
it looks amazing. Like, I'm
I'm
wearing a
much
palm tree in the
better today than
shirt. I'm dreaming about it.
I'm just thinking about it.
I'd like to
Yeah.
find that spot.
Well,
Me too.
yeah,
So
me
here we
three.
are. Let's get this shit out of the way. We'll get it down here.
Oh, look at
Hey.
you, John, with the 5-1.
Right. So we're just going to kick it right
Yes.
off. So I was so close. By the way, Evan, I really meant to send you a text and say good pick on the cards.
Nice.
Because I was so close to being perfect this week. Went to overtime. I stayed up the whole entire time watching this game. It was a great game.
Great game.
Yeah.
Seattle was really doing well in the first half and looked like they were going to run away with it.
Yep.
And if you guys remember, the announcers were like, Cardinals aren't playing the same defense they did last week. They're not blitzing.
Right.
Second half, they start blitzing. Look at Seahawks. It worked. It worked so well. And, if you really think about it, the Cards should have won the game before overtime because right before half, they didn't kick that field goal. They went for a touchdown, didn't get it. They had got that field goal, it would never went to overtime, but in the end, they won anyway. So really, the Cardinals did win that game.
Yes.
But they didn't look as good in the first half. And they just made some bad mistakes from a play calling perspective in my mind.
Yes. Yeah.
But both players, man, they were just rocking it. I mean, quarterbacks. And Joe's receiver. Who doesn't like Tyler Lockett? Man, that guy is just destroying.
I mean,
it.
former
DK Metcalf did
K-Stater.
nothing.
Yeah.
If you look at my background, you'll see
Right.
Bill Snyder Stadium. I mean,
I see DK Metcalf didn't do anything except for he played great defense.
Yeah.
Stopped that return for a touchdown.
Yes.
Which again, the Cardinals should have won the game, but took them to overtime. So
play of the week by far.
Oh yeah, it was
Oh, yeah.
impressive. That guy is so fast. How do they not throw the ball to him? Does he outrun
Well,
what they can do throwing?
Right?
Because
Seriously.
he should be open the way
Yeah.
he can run.
Well, he's huge. So
he's
you're
so
not
big.
going to
I
hit him
get
off
it.
the
That's-
line. Now, I
That's what I
will
couldn't
say DK Metcalf scoring 4 points screwed me because I lost by 2. I mean, all I needed
it
him to
didn't
do
help
was
me
get a
either.
score,
Right.
And he did catch a touchdown, but it was called back, and it cost me the ESPN. But I will say this: I got to be honest with you, John. I was rooting for the Cardinals because I didn't want you to gloat about going 6-0. Yes, they would have put me at 5-1, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather go 4-2 and not have to listen to him, brag about going 6-0.
No,
so I was like,
it wouldn't have put you at 5-1.
It would.
if the Seahawks would have won, it would have been 5-1. You're right.
Yeah,
I still would have been
fine.
one game up.
That's
correct.
It
didn't change our difference. So,
no, not at all. Not at all.
And I was silently rooting for them just because I feel like they're the underdogs, but I really did want to go get perfect. So
Plus,
I just enjoyed the game so much. I was like, it was still a great game.
Plus, it actually got rid of another unbeaten, which
it did.
Yeah. Frankly,
I was going to say that early on. We only have one left in the NFL at this point.
Yeah, the Steelers, and they will get beat. I mean, they're not going to go undefeated. So
I think they will too.
At some point. So it's good. We want to get rid of all those unbeatens and make it, make it a league of everybody has a loss, or 2 or 3 or whatever that may be. But yeah, I was congratulations, John. That was nice. 5-1. It's hard. It's hard to do. I'm just going to say it right now, man. I can't tell you how disappointed I am in the Patriots.
I know. You're telling me.
Lost, right? So
you're telling me.
But who picked the Niners? And not only did he pick him, but he was so right. It was ridiculous. I think their defense the previous week is what made me feel like they should win it. And their offense was back again. So
what's
destroyed
funny?
them.
You know what's funny about that though, John, is I listened to our last episode, and you said, and I quote, "No, I really think the Patriots are going to win. I'm taking the underdog here." I mean, you listen. You said, you did, and I listened to it. So. Yes, you could say, yes, I picked the Niners, but you really just wanted to go different from everybody else.
Yeah.
If I would have totally felt like there was no chance, I wouldn't have picked them.
Right, but we
but they're at home. They're probably going to win. The Patriots will probably win because
we all said we thought it was going to be I mean, every one of us. And no, it was destroyed. But what I want to say was Bill Belichick. Something's wrong. Because he's just, it's almost like he doesn't have control of that team anymore, right? And they're just, it's the last 2 games, Evan. I'm sorry, he's just not coaching them, and I don't understand it.
I was gonna
say you can only do so much when they bring that kind of energy.
But ultimately, you're that guy. It's your fault when your defense doesn't perform. You're right. You can't go out and play, but it's your job that gets lost, not theirs. Stephon Gilmore's not going to lose his job because they go out and lose. Bill Belichick's going to lose his job. Using them as an example, obviously they're probably not going to fire Bill Belichick, but I mean, Jesus Christ, it's all,
I'm a believer. The team takes the lead of your quarterback's energy. If your quarterback is coming out with 0 heart, can't throw a football for his life. I mean, if you saw some of the throws that Cam Newton was making last week, absolutely pitiful. Horrible.
This is great to hear from the Cam Newton bandwagon man over here. I love it.
And I mean, he looks like he's aged 10 years in the last 3 weeks.
So you're going to blame the defense's poor performance on Cam Newton?
No. Right. I think the defense has not played well, but I still think they have
They played like shit.
No, but here's the
you got to be realistic.
Here's the thing. They have solid players on defense, but that energy of the whole team.
Problem is, if your offense isn't on the field very long, your defense is playing overtime. And that's also what happened.
John, they didn't play good from the go. It had nothing to do with later in the game or having the ball.
No, it did.
They were making some stops at the beginning. They weren't horrible.
33-6, dude. I don't know what the halftime score was, but it wasn't 33-6.
Right. No, but they were getting their ass whooped. What was it, 20-6 or 20-3? I mean, it was a big spread.
Hey, they did.
Trust me, I know because I had the Patriots on a ticket, and I'm like, well, that one's done.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it was terrible. It was a bad call.
Horrible.
I wasn't
horrible. 100% comfortable. It was a great pick by me. Just like we'll go to the next one. Ev made the great pick with the Cards.
Just like John said last week, the Miami will not make the playoffs. I am saying it right now. The Patriots will not make the playoffs this year. They are done.
Good for you.
They are done. They're
not a bad thing to say.
Hey, listen, you can say all you want, and we know you're a fan. You're supposed to defend that.
Yeah.
But realistically, from what I'm looking at,
they're 2-4.
We'll get into that when we make our picks. When we make our picks, I'll give you my reason.
The thing I'll throw out there, I'm not against that, but Buffalo's not been playing great, so I think this week will really set the tone for whether or not New England's going to make it. If they can beat Buffalo, they got a chance. No, but Miami covered the spread against the Jets. And it was basically about the same spread, and Buffalo couldn't cover it. They did win, but they didn't beat the
They
Jets.
didn't cover the spread.
They've had 2 bad weeks in a row.
They looked
won,
horrible.
or 3
Buffalo
bad
looked
weeks,
horrible
really.
this past weekend.
So they got to beat the Patriots. If they beat the Patriots, I'm on Joe's bandwagon saying, no way is New England going to the playoffs.
I'll say it before.
I'll get into.
I'm glad you did, but
I'll give you my
reasoning. Drop my
reasoning.
lane.
I'll give you my reasoning when we get into the picks. I got some thoughts on that.
The other thing I want to point out, right, is Evan got the Cards with a 3-point win, but he lost the Steelers pick because he went with the Titans. And the Titans, as we all know, had a chance to win it with a missed field goal.
Yes.
New England obviously did the right thing, letting go of Gostkowski because he can't kick it when he needs it. He even didn't he make it, but there was something wrong, a timeout or something, or was that a different team? I could have swore somebody made it and then missed the next kick.
I mean, either way, Gostkowski's been missing some kicks this year.
Well, but he was perfect from that distance till that kick.
Right.
Yeah.
From
hasn't been coming
50
in the clutch.
or more, or 45 or more, whatever it was. He was perfect till that kick. So they don't go to overtime. They lose to the Steelers at home. But Joe and I went that right. I just had that feeling again, or not again, but the Titans just weren't as hot as they were earlier in the season. And
I actually
they really
agree.
kind of shut down. In my mind, they did a pretty good job of shutting down. Come on, guys, running back. Why did he jump out of my head? Derrick Henry.
Oh,
did not have a good first half for sure. They made it tough.
I think the Titans did show though that they can hang with the top dogs in the AFC.
They definitely did. They're a good team.
They're a good team.
No doubt about it. They're 5-1 and they lost by 3 points.
Right. So that's a team to look out for.
But Steelers definitely have, Joe. You were right. They definitely impressed me. I'll take it back. They're a very good team.
I'll say too. Yeah.
And same thing. What happens this week doesn't say they're not going anywhere, but if Baltimore wins, Steelers are maybe not going to win their division.
It doesn't matter.
Steelers win it.
They play twice.
I
said last week.
In Baltimore.
I think they're going to split. But right now they're talking Steelers Super Bowl. I mean, these guys are they're firing. They're on all cylinders, man. I mean, their defense looks great.
Receivers that
help. Deontay Johnson, Claypool,
Connor's finally running hard.
Smith-Schuster woke up this week. I mean, Jesus. They're going to be a dangerous team.
Yeah.
So here we are for the season. As we talked last week, we're either going to get closer together or further apart. We got further apart only by a game, but I'll take it. Because Joe was starting to catch up. Evan didn't gain any on anybody.
No, I lost some traction
to me, but stayed the same distance apart from Joe. And I got further.
We still got half a season left. I'll come back.
No, it's still very close, right? I'm only 2 games up or 4 games up, I think. So, fantasy football, Evan also struggled as we talked. He did have a 0-3 alert, but he was still predicted to win, and he did pull it out.
Thank you, Russell Wilson.
Right. Yeah. Joe and I both had good weeks. Russell Wilson definitely had
I was 2 points away from going 3-0.
Yeah,
that's a kick in the shorts, man.
To be fair,
I wasn't 2 points away.
To be fair, I was going to say, in the league with Russell Wilson, I would not have won if the Bills kicker did not put up 20 points. I picked him up at the last minute, and
kicker was ridiculous.
He put up 20 points. So that was Tyler Bass is the MVP this week.
Right, for you. And I barely won in, I think, NFL. Yeah. And it was, I was playing against friggin' Tyler Lockett, I think. Yeah. No, I was playing DeAndre Hopkins, and I have Hopkins in a different league. And Arizona was driving and went to overtime, and all I could do was pray that DeAndre Hopkins didn't catch a ball. He caught one for like 7 yards or something. That was it. Thank God, because I thought I had it. Then they went to overtime. I'm like, here it goes. I'm going to lose 2 games.
This is going to kick you
out by like 2 or 3 points. So I got lucky, but I'll take it. So for the season, Ev still is beating us, right?
I had the highest score and the largest margin of victory in CBS. I beat the guy by 95 points.
Wow.
I scored 163 in a non-PPR league.
Wow.
Yeah, so you destroyed it. You had Tyler Lockett. He scored you 40-some points.
38, but yeah.
Whatever.
I again, if you score 163 in a non-PPR league, that's insane. Yeah.
Of course, the week before, Joe scored like 20 points against me, and I almost beat him by that much.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's fantasy football. 1 week could be right. Again, I'm still only a half a game up, but me and Joe closed the gap on Ev a little bit. 1 game.
Yep.
All right.
Makes us feel good. So our parlay picks.
Look at that parlay, Joe.
a mixed bag, right? I thought Evan was really sucking it up everywhere.
Yes.
Evan actually had a better game in the parlays than Joe. The first time, Joe, next time you pick, you probably should just say what you want to pick and then pick the exact opposite, because you would have probably got them all.
Yeah.
So you gave me shit about Kansas City not covering. Did they cover? They covered it big time.
Yep.
They destroyed them. Now, of course, I missed Buffalo.
Yes,
so did Ev, because we're thinking Buffalo's going to cover against the Jets, just like Miami did. They couldn't do it. It's sad.
Right, and I didn't take them. You'll notice that. But I will say this.
But it didn't matter. You picked 3 other teams that couldn't cover. So,
John,
not only didn't cover, they all lost. The teams you picked all lost. They not only didn't cover, they
win
lost.
the game.
Yep.
And they were supposed to win.
Yep.
So, nice job.
Well, let me just say
Chicago,
this.
sorry, Chicago was supposed to lose. They were +6, but they got destroyed by the Rams.
Well, destroyed. They lost by 14, but I suppose
that's pretty bad when it's a 6 point in your face.
So here's what I would say. John, you're 2-1, and Evan, you're 1-2.
Yeah,
is exactly the same as my 0-3 in parlay picks.
Yeah,
no, you're
right.
right.
They mean dick. Unless you go 3-0, you got no room to brag about anything. Because I had a parlay ticket where I went 7-1. And guess what, boys? I might as well have went 1-7 because it pays exactly the fucking same.
0.
It doesn't mean dick. You can't talk shit on parlays unless you go 3-0 and it pays money.
All right, fair enough.
Well,
fair enough.
You are right, but I'm
I'm 100% right. You guys did just as good as I did.
So here's our season standings, which, by the way, we were basically tied till this week, except for Evan missed one in the, I think, very first week. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Where Joe went. So if you were just to look at our overall standings, still, like you said, it didn't matter. I've missed one every week.
Yes.
Got 2 right. Joe's been up and down, and Evan's been up and down. So here we are for this week's picks.
So, John, those parlay scores, instead of keeping like 6-3, you just need to score it. We're all zeros. And only score it when you go 3-0. Like now you got to win.
I can do that. So we're 0 and we're all 0-0.
We're all 0-0. We're all O's.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you win,
I guess we could be 0-3 or whatever. We've had 3 weeks to pick.
That's it. Yeah.
We're all 0-3. That's
and nobody's got one.
I decided we would catch up on how we've done overall.
Yes.
Just for the fun of it.
But I had a horrible parlay pick.
Right.
Luckily, I didn't bet that.
Yeah, good thing.
Because here's the thing. We do this on Wednesday.
Anyway?
By the time I actually did hit one. By the time we get to Friday, generally my parlay changes. Because somebody gets hurt or somebody gets COVID or something happens. So rarely do I ever bet the 3-teamer that I do on here. Just because, shit changes. Sometimes it happens, but it's very rare. So, yeah, you're right. I got smacked, dude. New England embarrassed me. Fucking Seattle. It was a great game to watch.
Right. That one was a hard pick. I mean,
that
was probably the most risky.
Who the hell? Oh, and then I had the Bears. I had the Bears +6. And Evan, I even think you said you like that pick.
I did.
I think I did. It wasn't a bad pick.
It was one of those where they've got a decent defense. I actually expected the Rams to win the game.
Yeah, me too.
But I expected them to win by like a field goal, right? Not by like 14
in Chicago.
Points. Right.
But all the things were in Chicago's got a good D, but their D was not great. They were okay, but not great. They were getting kind of controlled, and their offense was just stinky.
Yeah, it's horrible. It was absolutely fucking horrible. But the Chiefs, they beat that ass.
They beat them so bad. It was, and the funny thing is, Joe, they won a lot like K-State won against KU this past weekend, and it was special teams and defense for the most part, not the offense that scored most of the points. Did
you notice that Le'Veon Bell played really well? He carried 6 times, but he averaged like 4.8 yards a carry. I mean,
what do you expect?
Runs.
I don't want to talk about Le'Veon Bell because I don't like the guy, but obviously I like the fact that he's helping the Chiefs.
Yeah,
can't discount that, but I think he's a scum. I did not play him on my fantasy football team.
Well, now I think we're going to have to talk about that, John. I mean, that's
he's a scum.
Okay, all right, and that's. Yeah.
You won't be saying that come February.
He very well may be scum. I mean,
but again, I said I like the fact that he's helping the Chiefs. That part, I think he is helping the Chiefs, if for nothing else, to give our Hilaire a breather
break.
once in a while. And I think he's a bigger back when he's close to the end zone, and I think that's going to be helpful to us. But I could see him win the Super Bowl and be a douchebag all next year, or go somewhere else, and that's fine. He's
he will definitely go somewhere else because the Chiefs don't want him. The Chiefs
he's
got
getting
Hilaire.
paid. He's getting paid.
He's just trying to win
unless
a ring
he shits
this
a
year.
bet or acts like a douchebag early.
Well,
if he
He'll
somehow loses control,
he'll be all right. He's not going to lose control.
I don't think he will either.
So here we are on the
he
picks.
learned.
Right. Let's hope. He could change my mind if he becomes a model citizen, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, he left the Jets not being a model citizen. That's why he's at.
I would too. It's the Jets.
Right.
I've never disputed that fact, but
Right.
he chose to go there in the first place.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
For the money. So you get what you deserve. Some guys get drafted, they can't control it, or they just need a job. They're not Le'Veon Bell. He's Le'Veon Bell, and he went to the Jets. Come on.
Fair enough.
And the Jets weren't good then. Okay, so picks, even though I've been going first because I'm leading, obviously it's not hurt me yet because you guys sometimes disagree. This first one, I'm picking the Seahawks. I think this is going to be another Arizona Seahawks game. This could be very challenging.
John,
Only thing going forward is Seahawks are at home, and I think that's going to be the reason they win.
Let me jump in here real quick. I just want to say before we go on, up to this point, I was choosing the 5 games that we picked.
I wanted to say that too. I'm glad you're bringing that up.
Yeah, we made a decision that from starting actually tonight, John, since he made some changes, these are his 5 picks, and then next week Evan will pick the 5 games. Then the next week it'll go to me, and it'll just be a round robin type thing. And whoever the 5 that person picks that week, that's what we're doing, whether the other 2 guys like them or not. Because we all have different tastes in games.
Right.
And so we came to an agreement that we weren't always going to agree on the games that one chose. So that's why we're starting to rotate who picks them every week.
Right. So in general, like most of them, it comes down to a couple different picks.
Yes.
And it's about competition. Yes. So this week, for instance, I didn't like one of them because it was a repeat pick of our very first week of the NFL.
Right. Right.
But otherwise, yeah, it is tough. We've to give some concept. We've tried to keep the Chiefs. We've talked about trying to get New England, some teams we like, and then, like you said, the division rivals are always fun to pick. And that's most of the cases here, but not necessarily all of them. I don't think the Bears are in the same division, are they? No, they're not.
No.
But they are good records. Yep.
I get it. And I'm a Chiefs fan, but the Chiefs-Jets game's horrible. And the reason I say that is because we're all going to pick the Chiefs, right?
And then you said this, and I don't dispute, but I the one change I want to make this week that I was going to say is I want us to pick against the spread for the Chiefs game because it's a gimme. Otherwise, the spread, according to what we've been using, the CBS Sports line says it is a 19.5-point spread.
Right.
Let's do that.
So just for that game, we're going to pick the spread. All the rest is straight up, which is, as you pointed out, typically easier. In some of these matchups, I don't know. The Patriots-Bills, I think I'm curious what Evan's going to do because he continues to lose picking New England. This might be the week he chooses somebody other than New England. We'll see.
Dude, he'll pick New England every week, just like we will pick Kansas City every week.
And like I said, Joe, we need to keep the New England Patriots on this list. Evan might be the only guy who
we may not have them on there next week.
Right.
Yeah, the Patriots
so have to pick
horrible.
them. But we should keep them going, Joe, so that Evan picks them. And in some cases, he's picking against, sanity. And it's not going to work out for him like he did the last. Well, Denver, I got it. It was a little different. I think we all picked New England against Denver. And then last week, different story. So I think the times are changing for that team. Anyway, Seahawks for me, Joe or Ev, whoever wants to.
I'll go Seahawks. They're at home.
Yep. Okay. Ev, are you picking against them again?
No, I got to go Seahawks in this one. The Cardinals are a better team than the Niners, in my opinion. And so, I think the Seahawks handle the Niners.
You think this is close, or you think it's going to be?
I'd say a 7 to 10 point game.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be that far. I think it's going to be under 7. I think it might be over 3. I think it could be 3. Seattle continues to win by very little, typically. So I don't think it's going to be as far as
33-6 for all we know.
Right. Absolutely. And it could be the Niners putting it on them. I mean, the world changes every week in NFL.
Yeah.
All righty. So our next game, Jets, Chiefs. This one, I want to say I have a hard time with this, but I don't. I'm picking the Chiefs.
No,
and the
you
spread.
don't have any hard time with that.
It's Kansas City. And I even told John that. I'm like, even if we pick the spread, we're all still going to take the Chiefs.
Maybe it might go. I mean,
No, he
there
won't.
is a problem.
It's 19.5. It's the Chiefs playing the Jets.
Right,
I'm sorry. They're going to win by 20 or more. Oh, fuck.
The spread could be 30, and I would probably still pick the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, they're just going to fucking destroy the Jets.
I sure hope so. I don't want us to even be remotely close to wrong on that one.
Unless Andy takes his foot off the gas. That's the only way that won't happen.
Well, see, that's what I'm worried about, because sometimes you get up
so possible. Far, yeah, I mean,
then you kind of relax, and the other team just gets trashed, but you can't
3
stop
points
it because you've already celebrated the win, and now you're barely hanging on. Anyway,
that's why parlays are such a bitch to hit.
Yeah,
Ev, who you
because
picking
teams
here?
do that.
I'm taking the Patriots, and I'm going to tell you this is the last.
Tell me why.
This is the last week. It's like when the Titanic is sinking and you have those guys who are up there playing the instruments and the ship is going down. Great. And it's like, well, I will sink with this ship. And if they lose this week, they're not making the playoffs. That's it. They're done. You might as well bench Cam Newton. But if they win,
why are you picking them?
What?
Just because?
No.
You said you might have a reason.
I think they are better than what they've played the last 2 weeks. And I think Bill Belichick knows that if they lose this week, it's all over. I mean, because if they win this week,
the whole team should know it.
Well, exactly. And Cam Newton is a better quarterback than he's played the last 2 weeks.
He sure looked like it in the beginning of the season. Anyway.
Well, right. Look what he did against Seattle. So if they're going to turn it around, it has to be this week. So I'll give them one more week. Let's go.
I bet you're picking the Bills. Are you picking the Bills, John?
Yes, but I'll tell you something, Evan. I read something today that
it's an amazing joke and read. Sorry, I have to interrupt. Go ahead.
That the Patriots are considering at the trade deadline giving Stephon Gilmore to the Seahawks for a first-round draft pick.
Okay.
So the reason I say that is because I think Bill knows. I think Bob knows. And they're willing to dump their best player to get picks. They're trying to rebuild, dude. And maybe Stephon Gilmore has lost a step. Maybe he hasn't. But I can tell you this much right now. If there's any truth to that, Stephon Gilmore going to the Seahawks, watch out, people. Because we don't want the Seahawks to get Stephon Gilmore.
Bill has always been the guy to give up somebody a year too early as opposed to a year too late. So
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It doesn't shock me either. But that also tells me that they know that the season's done. I mean, otherwise that chatter, because you don't give Stephon Gilmore at the trade deadline, and maybe he's waiting to see what happens this week.
I think that's what'll,
And if they lose, I think Stephon's gone. I think he's, and then the Patriots are shit. They're playing like shit right now.
Then the Titanic is sunk, and that's it.
Yep. All right, what are we doing here?
I picked the Ravens.
The Steelers, of course. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to ride the train until it stops moving. I picked them, went with them, and they're playing great ball right now.
What do you think?
Plus, if the Ravens get behind, they can't catch up. Once you force them to pass the ball, that's the end.
This is a really tough one for me to pick.
Really tough.
I do agree with you, Joe. I think that they're going to split. These teams feel evenly matched to me.
Yeah.
I think maybe the Steelers have a better defense.
Yep.
Maybe even a better overall offense.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers may be the better team, but with the Ravens being at home.
Yep.
And I don't think they want to go down. They would be down 2 games in the division if they lose this game to the Steelers. I have to go with the Ravens. I think they pull this one out, but I think next time they play, depending on what happens the rest of the season, of course, and barring injuries, I think they'll split. But Ravens at home feels like the safer pick.
I won't be shocked if this one goes down to the wire.
No, I think it will. It'll be a field goal
I hope
game.
it does. I hope it's a good game to watch.
Yeah. John going with the Saints. Okay.
Saints. So, why would I choose the Bears? Bears can't beat anybody.
Well, that's the thing.
They beat 4 teams.
Horrible teams.
They beat
Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay beat themselves. They didn't beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay beat themselves, and beyond that, who did they beat?
Right.
Really,
they're probably gonna make the playoffs for the Bears, but they're not nearly as good as their record states. They're not.
Right.
I got to go.
They don't
with
have
the
an
Saints.
offense.
I gotta go with the
Their
Saints.
offense is horrible.
Yeah.
So Ev?
Nick Foles is
Saints. Got to go with the Saints. I can't not
course.
pick them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Joe, we split one game.
We did.
Ev, did we pick the same? No, we split one game.
I took the
New England.
Patriots.
Yeah,
Right.
2 games.
Yeah. At first I was just looking at everything else. Yeah. We all have a chance to make or give up a game
Yes.
to each other.
Yes.
I mean, if I'm wrong twice, then Ev's even with me. I'd have to be wrong here, and then if I'm wrong on the Steelers, Ev also is wrong
Yeah.
with me, and then Joe gets one. So
We're going 5-0 this week over here. Count on it.
you're right. I will.
I love it. I love it.
All right, cool, guys. Awesome. I think, in my opinion, that particular segment this time was one of the best because we talked so much about just overall football and teams and where things are going, as well as picks. I enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah. I think we went.
I really liked how we handled that this week instead of just kind of running through those picks. Cool.
I would agree with that.
Now we might not have anything else to talk about. Oh, we have parlay
We have
picks.
parlays. We got parlays.
That's right. We have a parlay. So
Come on, man.
who's picking parlays?
Who was the
first?
big
Well,
winner?
now I
of
went
parlay?
first last
Yeah.
week. Why don't
Technically, we're
want
0-0. So
and it didn't
All right, that's true.
it didn't do me any good. So I'll
you
go last
first
this week.
How about that?
Me?
I'll
Yeah,
go
I
first.
will.
I'll go first.
Yeah, I went first
Yeah.
last week.
So,
Right.
all right. My picks, I think maybe you guys will agree with some of them, not all of them. First
Possibly.
one I got is Seattle -3 versus San Francisco. I mean, that feels like a pretty safe pick. Like I was saying, I think it's going to be a 7 to 10 point game. So, Seattle
It's gotcha. Yeah, Seattle
minus
-3.
3. That's
Seattle -3. Yeah, it's safe until you take them. I took Seattle last week -3, and we all know how that shit
well,
worked
I
out.
said Arizona was going to win the game, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't have taken that.
Congratulations.
So-
You should have. You should have
they're
taken
not-
the Cardinals.
Right. They're not my team in our 3-game pick. They are on CBS where you do the 5-game. It is one of my pick dubs. So
Yeah. Okay.
it's just not going to be one for the
Nice.
All right. Another one I got, which
Yeah.
we didn't pick this game. I'm taking the Raiders getting 2.5 points against the Cleveland Browns. Now, I actually like the Browns. Baker Mayfield impressed me last week. He threw
We know he's under your
well,
chair.
no. He threw a pick at the very beginning of the game, and when I saw that, I said, "I'm wrong about Baker Mayfield. This dude sucks." That was my reaction. But then he went and threw 5 touchdowns. But
You guys know that Odell Beckham Jr. is out for
out
the
for the
season.
year. Out for
He
the
is.
year.
So
He's
I'm
gone.
actually, this is one game though that I know we picked it early in the season, but I'm actually shocked we missed it last week and didn't pick it again because it was so close the first time. And this was at home for Cincy this time, and it was in Cleveland last time.
I was going to pick
We
it
could have
because it
picked
was the
this one.
Battle of Ohio, and I should have
Right.
because it was one hell of
That
a
was a good
game.
game.
Right, it would have been a good
I
pick.
mean-
I think I was curious what people would have picked that game.
I probably would have picked
now
the
it's-
Browns.
I would have probably gone
See,
Cincinnati.
I would have had a hard time too, yeah, because I picked the Browns at home, and I might have picked Cincy because they were in Cincy.
In Cincy, yeah.
It was tough. I really wasn't sure how I would have went with that one, but anyway.
But yeah.
Yeah, so you got those two.
I'm
What's your
taking
third?
Raiders over the Browns. I think Derek Carr pulls it out.
Okay.
And I'm going full homer. I'm taking the Patriots plus
Oh my
3.5
Oh.
against Buffalo. Give me points. Give me a win.
Fucking crazy.
That's how much I am going down with the ship.
Yeah, you did it again last week too, so that's good. Yeah.
That's how much I'm going
You
down
did
with the
it
ship.
last week too. I love it. You did it. You went down with the ship last
we will
week.
be
Let's go
fully,
again.
We will be fully drowning
All I have
after
to
this
say-
week if they lose.
Just to remind you, Evan, both New England and Buffalo fucked you last week, so
Yeah, I know.
you know it's gonna be a 3.5 point game.
Where are your flippers, dude?
It'll be
'cause you're going
somehow
in.
they're gonna score 3.5 points, the first time ever in the NFL, and there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it. That's my golden pick
Hey,
right
good
there.
picks. All right,
Cool, I
Joe, you
love
want
it.
me to go or you want to go?
It's up to you. I'm ready whenever it's time.
Make a call, you or me.
Why don't you go?
Okay, I'm already ready too.
Okay.
So I have Tennessee -6 versus Cincy.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer, to be honest.
I don't know. Tennessee's
13.
like you said, they're playing close to everybody they
Cincy,
play.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's Cincy.
since he's
Joe
stepping up
Burrow
a
is-
little bit too, man. I mean,
know.
they're starting to play some ball. I mean, I get it, but I just don't trust it because you never know what Cincinnati's going to
I
do.
think Tennessee's going to control the game so much with their ground game. that Cincy's not going to get much
I
opportunity.
think that everybody knows that's what the plan is. So if Cincy's
they can stop it, they got to stop it.
Yeah.
I mean, they just traded Geno Atkins to Seattle. See, Cincinnati just did.
That's good to know.
Geno Atkins, yeah.
So
yeah, that's big. Yeah.
I didn't want to pick the game, but I did pick the game for my parlay, which hurts me badly because I'm a Minnesota fan. But I picked Green Bay with -6.5 over Minnesota. They beat their ass in the beginning of the season. I think they're going to beat their ass again at home. So,
is Jones playing this week?
I get it.
I don't think they know for sure yet. The last I checked, I haven't. I picked up Jamal Williams last week in 1 or 2 leagues, and it was worth it because he did pretty good. But I'm sitting out here waiting to see if I'm going to play him this week based on that. So
I saw somebody pick up AJ Dillon, and he got a whole 2 carries or whatever.
Dude, AJ Dillon, they didn't play him at all. I'm just like,
he didn't do much. So Ev, I don't know what you were smoking when you said he was going to be a force this year, but
he hasn't played. What do you want? He's got to get carries.
I'm officially on the pick bandwagon because I picked him last week as well. I'm taking Tampa -10.5 over the Giants.
Yeah,
the Giants are terrible.
I actually like.
It's as simple as that.
I like that pick. Actually,
I do too. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I just.
All right, Joe. What do you got?
They're so fucking.
The Giants are so bad.
Oh my God.
They did win, a game, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas doesn't have anybody left on their team to play.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay, so my first team, I'm taking the Panthers -2.5 against the Falcons.
I liked that one. It was on my radar.
Yep. That's my first game. And then my second game, I'm taking the Colts -2.5 against the Lions.
I was thinking of taking that one. That's a good
one.
I
didn't dislike that one either. Yeah, it's so close. I'm not sure which Indy's going to show up, right? Because they've been a little.
Well, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
Detroit's been playing ball a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They stick with teams.
Yeah. And then my third.
If it's another -2.5, I'm going to be shocked.
It's not.
Trend here.
No,
okay.
I'm actually taking the
Cleveland
Steelers
-2.5 over Las Vegas.
Steelers +4. Okay.
Steelers +4.
Really? Are they favored that much? Oh,
the Ravens are -4. Yeah, so I'm
Joe, do you want it? I got Ravens -3.5 on CBS.
I'm on NFL right now.
Yeah. Do you want the 3.5 or you want the 4?
Well, I'm going to go with what I'm looking at. I'm -4, 3.5. I mean, it really 4, 3.5. Other than a push, which I said last week is a win, and it is.
Matter. Yeah.
I'm going off what I'm looking at. This is what
fine.
I get at the casino, so that's what I'm going to go off.
That's fine. I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. So +4, the Steelers +4.
Right.
The last time I did this, it haunted me. They lost by 30 fucking points. So we'll see if this happens. I trust the Steelers defense, but what I really trust is the Steelers offense. Chase Claypool, those receivers, let me tell you, man, this team, Eric Ebron started to play.
Chase didn't have a good week last week, but in general, he's a good player.
No, but the other two guys did.
They were playing him, right. They were playing him more so than
Juju woke up. Yeah. So I think, I really thought about Tampa Bay, though. I mean, I really like the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, that's a safe one.
Jesus, the Giants are so bad. And I'll tell you what, man, Tampa Bay is starting to hit on all cylinders, man.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are right now. Chris Godwin is out.
Well,
he broke his
Antonio
finger.
Brown coming in soon.
They got Antonio Brown coming in. So here's
make a splash yet.
Yeah, well, he's going to be on trial for sexual assault, guys. I don't know that he's going to make it through the season because he's probably going to go to jail. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, everybody's
in the meantime,
until proven guilty. So the one thing that I wanted to talk about post parlay picks.
Hey, so I wanted to throw another one out there real quick since you're getting ready to go.
Yeah, throw it out.
The last one in my 5-gamer for CBS Sportsline, I actually picked the Rams over Miami by 4. So
did you pick 4? Or is this just your bonus one?
No, I'm not really picking them. I mentioned another one. I took the Seattle game as well. So on CBS Sportsline, they have a weekly parlay, but it's a 5-gamer. I just wanted to throw out the other one that nobody talked about, just to give you guys an idea of another one I was looking at in case you said terrible pick. I like it. Rams over Miami by 4.
That's a tough one. I mean,
I haven't hit a
Are-
single
are-
CBS
Tua's
Sports Line
first
poll
game.
Are
on
the
parlay yet,
are
so-
the Rams -4? Is that what you're showing?
Yes.
who knows what Tua is going to look like? That's the only thing.
That's why I picked it. Actually, I think his first game, and the Rams D is pretty good. I just
See, I'm
felt
showing
like
the
they're not
Dolphins +3.5 on this. So I'm down
Yeah,
down a
that's
half point.
see. This shows they opened at +3.5, but currently it says it's at 4. But again, I'm
No, I
using
just
CBS, and
I just refreshed it. Yeah.
maybe it changed.
Yeah, that's weird.
Regardless, anyway.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I would not touch that game
Yeah,
because I don't know what Tua's gonna do. I mean, you just don't know. It's
Yeah,
so
that's
up
what
in
I
the air
think.
right now. Who knows? I mean, Tua may come out and just kick the Rams' ass.
Oh no, he
I mean,
could.
we
He
just-
could
That would be
light it
nice.
up.
We
That'd
just
be
don't
cool.
know.
They're
Yeah,
coming
that
out
would be
of a
fun to
bye.
watch.
They could be healthy, happy, and just destroying it. It is. But anyway,
Yeah.
I went with the opposite effect of he's not played an NFL game yet. It's
Right.
not going to go well for him this game. I like him. I like Tua. I just I don't.
We'll
him
see.
winning.
I mean, we just don't know.
Right.
You know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. I
But
still
anyway,
think
you're
it was
going somewhere.
it was a
Right.
dick
It's-
move what they did to Fitz. I mean,
Right.
but it is what it is. And
But
so
after
that-
we
that-
talked about it on the show, all the all the pregame shows, whatever, they all basically had the same sentiment. They knew it was. Everybody knew it was coming.
yeah.
Kind of a bummer how it went down.
However, I heard something on ESPN the other day that Jerry Jones may be going after Fitz
Oh, that could be a good
because
move for
now
him.
that Dalton went down, he's like, hey,
right,
you want to come
boy.
play for the Cowboys? It's like, all right, well, not that the Dolphins, I don't know how he's tied into the
Right.
contract or whatnot, but the Dolphins might be able to get something for him.
I was gonna say.
If Jerry's,
Right.
really,
If you want
want
to stand
somebody.
behind a line that can't protect you, and you're going to get destroyed.
you're
I
going to
mean,
get
Good
destroyed.
luck.
All right, so the subject I wanted to bring up is actually one that Evan will really appreciate.
Okay.
And that is with the trouble that the Patriots have been having.
Yes.
Okay. The question here that I'm going to pose is because Belichick is struggling and Tom Brady right now is excelling, was it Belichick or was it
Damn
Brady?
you! I was going to ask a similar question in a different way.
Now,
right
this is
now,
hard
at this
for
point in
you.
the season, who would you rather be, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? That was how I was.
Well,
gonna
at this
put it,
point of the
it's same concept.
season,
Go ahead.
Brady,
Go ahead, Joe.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, did you have more you wanted to add to that?
No. I
Well,
wanted.
I have my answer. I'd rather be Tom Brady right now.
right.
If I were the two guys, I would say I'd rather be Tom Brady than Bill
Well,
Belichick.
the
But
thing
my
is,
question is a little bit different. My question
It
is
is.
basically
Similar
Who is-
concept, different.
who was the difference maker when they were both in
That's why I worded
Foxborough,
mine
right?
differently because I think it's a little too early to really
Well,
answer that
here's-
question.
I
Still
don't.
early
Here's
in the
my
season.
take.
I think you're going to continually answer that question.
Here's-
It won't ever stop.
if
right?
I was gonna say, if you look at the teams that won the Super Bowls, right, and you look at the first 3 Super Bowls, I would say were more Belichick because that team was built on defense. It was built on the running game. Brady was young. He was he wasn't a top tier quarterback. He was good. Don't get me wrong, but those first three Super Bowls, I would say Belichick.
Brady
defense.
still made great decisions.
Well, no,
and
he
still
did.
does in
Yeah.
general. I mean,
I was
everybody
saying, he
makes a
was
mistake
good.
now and again, but he didn't give away games.
No, exactly.
He had a final 2-minute winning drive.
No, I know.
I
He
mean-
played well. I'm not saying he didn't, but those
mean-
But
teams,
it wasn't all him.
those teams were built on defense. But
None of them were all of one guy.
there are years that Tom Brady carried that team. So
Yes.
Oh, sure.
they're not
Yes.
winning as many
Yes.
Super Bowls as they did without Tom Brady. If you stick a quarterback who's like middle of the line or like even maybe top 10, but not Tom Brady level, do they win 6 Super Bowls? No. They might win 1. They might win 2.
I think they win 0. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, let me. Well, no.
They-
let me
they-
turn
they
this
may-
around.
they-
If
they
Not,
had
had-
not in
first-
the
if
early
they
years.
If
Not
they
in
had
the
Drew
early years.
Brees,
Maybe
if they had
the
Drew
first one.
Brees, would they have won a reasonable number of Super Bowls?
They would have
Drew
won
Brees?
Super Bowls.
I don't know that they
Yeah.
would have won 6. They would have won some, but without Tom Brady, and don't throw
Well,
Drew Brees in there.
here's-
Without
Had
Tom
to.
Brady,
You knew I had to do that. Come on.
Well, here's the question.
they win the first one defensively.
Yes.
but then they don't win any more beyond that.
Here's
I
the
disagree.
question.
I disagree
Without
with that.
Bill
Oh, you're wrong.
Belichick, how many Super Bowls did they win? That's the question. And I don't know the answer to that because he built those teams.
Do they have?
Right.
He's the GM and the coach. He's
Does
not
he
just the
still-
coach.
Does he still
No.
have? Well, I disagree because Pioli was their GM under Bob Kraft because he came to Kansas City. That whole thing was put together,
Well, he has
and he
a
was
group-
under Bill Parcells.
All
He
of the-
So really,
Right. He didn't. Did he get Brady? I don't think he did. I think he got Brady handed to him, and they didn't start him. Right.
Well,
No, I
Bledsoe-
understand-
yeah.
I
Brady
understand
was
that.
a gift to Bill Belichick.
my question is McDaniels still there? Because you're right. If Bill Belichick isn't there, but McDaniels is, they still win championships without Bill
McDaniels can't
Belichick.
build a defense like Bill Belichick.
But
can.
somebody else could build one good enough that Tom Brady takes him over the top to win a championship. Tom Brady is that good. It's almost like the 2000 Ravens. Great defense. They won the game with Trent Dilfer as their quarterback. This guy sucked tits. They won it defensively, and all Trent had to do
was
was
turn the
Trent.
ball over.
That's all he had to do. Tom Brady goes and wins the game. All
Yeah.
the defense has to do is give up less points, right? And there's a lot of coaches that can do that. So my argument is, yes, they win more championships if Tom Brady's there and Bill is not, as opposed to the other way around, if McDaniels is the OC.
So
Or the head coach, you mean?
couple questions.
Okay.
Well, you don't want him to be the head coach because
Well,
No. So how did New England do when McDaniels wasn't there? Did they win any Super Bowl?
They didn't. They may
No.
have. Did they win? Well, the early years he wasn't the offensive coordinator.
No, but when he
Charlie
left
Weiss
and then
was.
before he came back.
While he was in Denver, they did not.
I think
Okay.
no, they didn't. No, they didn't win one when he was in Denver. No.
Right. And I was going to also say, talking about defense, well, their defense was great, except for against Eli Manning and the New York Giants, right? So
I mean, their defense
yeah,
wasn't even that bad. They lost. They only gave up like 17 points.
No, I know,
Right.
but they lost, and their
I'm
offense
thinking of
obviously.
the yeah. I'm thinking of
and
the
their
perfect
offense
season.
didn't win it either, and that we saw the one thing: if you can really put pressure on Brady, he struggles. Any
Yes.
quarterback does. It's
Yeah.
hard to play the game when you're on your back or running around looking at the guys trying to kill you instead of at your receivers. I mean,
Right, but if you-
he's not
if
the
you-
mobile kind of quarterback.
But if you watch Tom Brady play all those years, you'll know that he had one of the best offensive lines protecting
And
him
normally
the
he didn't
whole
have to worry
time.
about that because he could make a quick throw. You know,
Well, yeah,
even
but
when he got pressure, he usually knew where to throw the ball, and there was always that place. But the
Yeah,
teams
but-
that could stop that from happening were successful.
His offensive lines were outstanding.
Well,
Yeah.
I
they're
mean,
They
not
always
that-
were.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
They always were.
And
Yeah,
that's why
I
their
mean,
running game was also pretty good. Always. I mean, even without the best running
well, they
backs,
took
had a
enough
pretty good running
pressure
game.
off Tom where he didn't have to pass it every down.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I believe they win more championships with Tom not having Bill as a coach than they would having Bill as a coach and not having Tom all those
So
years.
let me take that one step further because I liked where you're going, and I want to on any team. What's more important, a quarterback or a head coach?
Right. You want me to
And
answer
I
that?
think I
Head
truly
coach.
believe that
Or no,
quarterbacks are
quarterback,
one of those
yeah.
positions that if you don't have the right guy, it's
That's it.
really
Yes.
hard to win. You can, when you pointed
Yes.
out to Dilfer, but if you try to say how many of
Yes.
those scenarios exist in the
There's
Super Bowl
very
winners,
few.
it's not very many.
That's correct.
One of the things you'll remember about Super Bowl champions is the quarterback. We said Eli Manning, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Elway, right? Just Breeze. And you said he couldn't do it in New England, but he did it not in New England, so Breeze can definitely win Super Bowl, right? I think, and when you think about the scenarios, you go, well, who was the head coach? And sometimes you remember, and sometimes you're like, I don't care. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And when he didn't have that guy, that head coach wasn't winning.
It's only when you
Right.
have a head coach who wins multiple Super Bowls do you start to really remember
Sure,
that.
and you know they're good.
Right.
But the problem is they do not play the game. They
Right.
can cost you the game if they make bad choices, especially
Yes.
when they're the play caller and the head coach. Sometimes they aren't very good at it. Bill O'Brien, I don't know if he was
Well,
making
look,
calls,
I
but he
mean,
was doing some other
look,
things, but-
we've got Andy Reid. Andy Reid
Yes.
didn't win a championship until he got Patrick Mahomes. He had
Right.
Donovan McNabb. They went to the Super Bowl, but
and
they
he was
didn't
always,
win.
he was competitive. He was always
was
competitive,
competitive,
but he didn't
right.
have the right guy. And
That's
there's
it.
been lots of those scenarios.
Now he's got that guy, and here
it's
we
not-
go.
Right. We know it's just not the quarterback. You can have the greatest quarterback, and your team sucks because everybody around him is terrible.
Dude, I don't know. Joe Montana came to Kansas City in 1993, and his best wide receiver was J.J. Burden. Nobody even knows that name because they sucked that bad.
Me and you, maybe.
You're right. He did have Marcus Allen in the backfield, who was 76 at the time. But, never mind that. Yes, there are certain quarterbacks that can absolutely go in and win with nobody. They did not. They got beat in the AFC Championship by Buffalo, who lost 4 in a row.
And we had Vermeil and we had Trent Green, and they were good. But they couldn't win it in Kansas City either because we didn't have a defense to save our life.
If you ask me if I would take Tom Brady for 20 years or Bill Belichick for 20 years, I would probably take Tom Brady. Because
that's what he was asking. That's a great question.
I think you have to, because I think you're right. I think it's the quarterback. Like John said, he's the guy that goes out and plays the game, right?
Yeah.
Bill is, and you know what? Bill really didn't have a whole lot to do with Tom Brady. Bill is a defensive mind. He built some great defenses.
Right.
But it was really McDaniels, and even before that, we talk about Charlie Weiss. I mentioned him.
Right.
He really was the first guy. You've got Romeo Crennel running your defense. These are the first guys that I remember when all this thing started, and then Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator at one point. Now he's running the Lions program. So they've had a lot of coaches come through there, and that's what happens when you win championships. Yeah. You get taken. McDaniels got taken, came back. I don't know that he'll go again. But he's not. But
the team falls apart.
So here's the thing:
Bill leaves, the team starts to just go back to the old days.
The head coaching gig for New England is gonna be from within. They're gonna promote from within. That's what Robert Kraft is gonna do. And it's either gonna go, it's to one of two people. It's gonna go to McDaniels, or it's gonna go to Steve Belichick, because Steve Belichick is running the defense right now. He's calling the defensive plays. So
he needs to do a better job.
I know, I agree.
But
he's he's basically the defensive coordinator.
Is he the son?
Yeah.
He's his son. Okay. All right.
So
so I was
his first year doing it.
What where you stood on that, what you think. I mean, obviously Tom Brady is having more success right now, so it's easy to say yes.
Well, right. That's the thing.
I think it was Tom.
That's what
Brady.
We all wanted to see what happened, right?
That's exactly it. And as it goes on, now listen, if New England turns their program around, right, and he leads them to the AFC Championship game, then we're going to come back and we're going to get on this show and we're going to say, wait a minute, maybe it was the coach. Right. I don't think that's going to happen. We were having a hard time with Tom in the first couple games because he struggled. They lost to the Bears. They lost to they lost to the Saints week 1, right? And so we were like, well, wait, what's going on? But as of late, it seems like the defense has turned their stuff around. Gronkowski woke up. I don't know. He's almost looking back to form. Not quite as fast, but I mean, he's making some catches. I don't know if you guys saw that catch in the end zone this last week.
2 weeks in a row, he did a really nice catch in the end zone.
Right. And so I think all the pieces are starting to fit. That makes them a dangerous team.
Yeah. Right. Not only that, which of those two teams, right? Would you rather be playing for Tampa or New England? Which one of those two teams is going out and spending money and getting people still during the season?
Yes.
Where New England's kind of sitting on it.
Yes.
Like
that's the thing.
If they let go of Gilmore, they're like pulling back and they're going, we're scrapping the season. We're going to save some money and do it.
The last 2 years, even with Tom Brady, they didn't go out and get anybody for him.
Right.
So
they're trying to get Antonio.
Well, I mean, but other than Antonio, even that's a mid-season acquisition. Right. They're not going out and getting guys in the offseason to bring around Tom Brady. So
so
that falls on Belichick.
I didn't see.
Probably the owner too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of it, I think.
I know
he's a penny pincher.
He's a GM, but you still got to get things floated by the guy writing the check ultimately.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're the GM.
That's evident because look at O'Brien. John, he was the GM, and then they fired his ass. They're like, and you know what? I said at the beginning of the year, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be his downfall, and that he lost his job because of that. I mean, we all knew. It's like you will not have your job because that was a monster mistake, and anybody you talk to in the football world will tell you that was one of the worst moves.
You have a great quarterback, and you give away his best weapon.
Yeah, you just go. Do something else, right? Go play with your Rubik's Cube. Just don't talk football because you're an idiot. Yeah. But
We severed that branch from the Patriots tree.
Oh my God, I hope you did. So New England
get hired back.
I did not watch the game, right? But I watched.
I couldn't help but watch it.
I know.
Unfortunately,
it wasn't on here, so I just couldn't. I was watching.
It was during the Chiefs game, I think.
Right. No,
I unfortunately got one of the two, and I live in the East Coast, so I was getting the goddamn.
I had the red zone on, so
I wanted.
Did you? I had the Chiefs on, but the crazy thing that I saw one play, and it was Cam Newton. He throws the ball to Julian Edelman and misses horribly.
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't even close. So the camera pans to Julian Edelman. He's walking off the field. Gets off the field. I've never seen this out of him. And maybe I just haven't watched a lot of Patriots football. Takes his helmet off, slams it down. Fucking pieces come off of that thing everywhere. Right? Goes over, sits on the bench, turns to a guy. I don't know who this guy was. Starts yelling. No, it didn't look like he was yelling at him, but he was bitching about what was going on.
Venting.
To him, yes. Yeah, and the guy's just looking at him like, holy fuck. You know?
Yeah.
So
that guy's never been on a losing team.
So the frustration is there. They're frustrated. Can they build off of that? I don't think so. I think that Cam Newton has gotten to a place. Evan, you said something interesting on text on Sunday. You said he looks like he's playing scared.
He does.
Oh yeah. He does.
And I think you're right, but I'm not sure you just get rid of that in a week. Right. And so I think if you're Belichick,
not against Buffalo, I don't think you.
Right. I mean, why
picked it that way?
Would you go with Stidham and just say, look, we got nothing to lose?
Right.
You're not going to do any better. That's the thing. You're not going to do any better. Give him another week.
Why not? You're not going to do any worse either.
The ceiling is higher with Cam Newton.
No, I don't disagree, but you eventually have to build his replacement. And the thing that made me laugh last week when you guys said that is Stidham came in and immediately tripped over his own dick. I mean, he really did not do well in his first couple plays. I didn't see it, but the first time he came in where he threw the pick that they called a fucking pass interference that wasn't in the game before that, in my opinion, of course. He as soon as he did it, I just laughed. He's like, he's not doing well. Get Hoyer back in. It's like, then Hoyer's not great, but he had moments. Stidham's not been impressive yet. But you won't really know till he gets enough. He needs to play a couple games, the entire game, to see if he's any good.
I think that's something you can do later in the season when you still are technically have a playoff chance.
After they lose to Buffalo this coming week, Joe, they'll put him in and let him play the rest of the season. That's what he just said.
No. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Buffalo has looked shitty too.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but not as shitty as New England.
No, New England's looked worse. But Buffalo, what is wrong with them? It's almost. I mean, Josh Allen's just not. It's like what is going on with you guys? I mean, it's just been. I just don't understand it.
That is a common thing to happen to Buffalo. They start the season off red hot and then they tailor off. That's happened all the time over the past 10 years. Every year, Buffalo starts off hot and then they tailor off.
You mean like when they get to the Super Bowl and lose it, 4 times in a row or whatever?
Well, that was the 90s, so that was a while ago.
I'm just their history, right? It's just you build off that.
Yes.
It's like the Cubs and not being able to win a World Series for like 50 years or whatever. Some teams they don't have the mojo. They just are jinxed. They just can't do it.
I know.
They're just not comfortable in the scenario of winning. It's like, wait, we're not used to winning. We got to stop this shit now before it gets contagious.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to look at the spread. So, the Bills won by 18 points, and your kicker scored 20.
Yep.
Isn't that fucking amazing? Like you scored more with your kicker than the team actually put on the board.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So they only kick field goals apparently.
Exactly. That's why I won in fantasy football.
They won the same way Denver beat. That is impressive. I mean, they did get interceptions and another interception.
I do think
turnover
the Patriots,
on downs. Jesus Christ!
The Patriots' offense is not only going to they're going to put up more than 3 points this week.
Josh Allen
going to score.
You said Josh Allen didn't do good, right? But Josh Allen was 30 for 43.
Didn't get him in the end zone.
Right. But is that his fault? 307 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, it's his fault. He's the quarterback.
He carried the ball 11 times for
Didn't
61
get him in the end zone.
He led the team in both rushing and passing.
Didn't get him in the end zone.
I understand. I totally get it. But
we're not sure that you do.
On your team, the other guys on your team do have to do something.
Well, John, he completed 30 passes, so somebody was catching the ball.
Or when you hand the ball to them, they do have to run after they get the ball. Like, that's part of the game.
I guess, or you could pass it to them while they're standing in the end zone so they don't have to move.
That usually helps. You know,
but it would help to get down by the end zone. It's called the red zone.
Right, it gets tougher the closer you get. No, I totally agree.
I mean, good night.
They're
not that. Listen, they're playing the Jets.
So they're gonna, They lose to most teams putting up no touchdowns.
Their first drive, 2 incomplete passes before they kicked their field goal. Let's check the next one. No, he had a 14-yard pass, and then they had to kick it.
Yeah, but he didn't get him in the end zone.
Right,
but that's not a bad end.
Evan, that's going to be my. Oh, stop it.
He had a negative. Oh, Jesus Christ! A negative 8-yard run, then a 5-yard penalty, then an 8-yard pass, and an incomplete. Okay, that's.
Oh yeah, an incomplete. Didn't get him in the end zone.
One after his team went back 16 yards. I mean, come on.
Didn't get him in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it!
5-yard penalty, incomplete pass, 8-yard pass, field goal.
Didn't get him in the end
They
zone.
missed a fucking field. How did you get 20 points when he missed a field goal?
Because he kicked more. He just kept kicking.
You don't get minus points for a miss.
I think you might get -1.
You do if they're like extra points.
-2.
Sometimes in really close field goals, depends on the league. Sometimes.
I was gonna say I don't know.
Used to be one thing I would do was penalize a kicker for missing like a gimme. Because if I was a commissioner,
I'd have penalized him 5 points for missing a 50-yarder. You get paid a lot of money to kick the ball.
Right.
It's like let's make it really hard.
So here's one. He didn't miss a single pass. They ran for no yard gain.
Well,
he threw for 2 yards. They ran for 6.
But you know what, John? Go ahead, Evan.
He didn't get in the end zone.
Hey, thanks. No, you're right. He didn't.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
He's the only player on the team.
He did not get him in the end zone. All right. Does anybody have any other football?
We could talk all night, but we probably shouldn't.
Information.
That's the thing.
That they want to bring up. Anything? Any fantasy stuff? Anybody having? All I know is everybody was dropping and picking up in CBS. I didn't make one move because I scored 163 points. So I'm like, well, I don't really have. What am I going to do? I can't really.
What works.
That's it. I mean, I guess it may not work this next week.
But I had a little because I had some buy situations.
I put in 2 waiver claims. I think I got one of them. So.
Hey, you know how CBS?
Ev made a trade with his cousin Bill.
I made a trade on ESPN.
Oh, I saw that. I voted on that.
I gave up Juju, so
I'm
a quarterback now that Cam Newton is.
I keep missing votes.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been. Yeah, he got you -1 point or something.
I know. I traded for Drew Brees, so I'm starting Drew Brees this week. No, I can't go.
So by the way, he tried to trade me Stephon Diggs for Drew Brees, and I said no. Okay.
Oh, he was shot. Originally, he wanted Tyreek Hill, and I decided to modify the offer a bit. Because I have such wide receiver depth in that league.
Guys, I got to be honest with you. I love Tyreek Hill, but he's not doing shit.
Still a top 10 receiver in fantasy right now.
I guess. But I mean, you never know what he's going to do. Like one week he might have 40 points, but then he'll go 6 weeks with 3.
It's because there's so many guys on that.
I know. That's the problem. There's so many weapons. The only guy on the Chiefs, well, until this year, that you could really count on getting points every week was Travis Kelce. Now you've got Hilaire. Hilaire does pretty well every week. We'll see if that continues with Bell in there. But who knows? I mean, it's a guessing game at this point.
Yeah.
So I do have Bell on one team, and I actually right now have him in my starting lineup because they're playing the Jets, and I think he might just have a monster game just because it's against the Jets.
I'd have to take Hilaire out to do that, and I don't.
It's not that. I actually put him in my flex spot.
Oh, gotcha.
My other choice in flex. Gotcha. So let's just talk about that real quick. Other choice in flex could be Travis Fulgham.
Okay, now he's been.
And that's not a terrible choice. No, I know.
He's
against Dallas too.
Yes, he's been destroying it.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't like that. I would definitely go with Fulgham. Matter of fact, Philly is projected to beat them. I think they're -7.5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Against
everybody
Dallas.
I think is now projected to beat Dallas.
Oh yeah, they're the Jets.
Who do you guys think
local
wins
high
that
school
division?
team.
Philly.
I
don't know. Well, Washington's been playing pretty well too. I mean, their defense.
Hey, my buddy Kyle Allen won a game.
I know. I saw that.
I was about to say. I don't think it's
How did you not mention that?
Wow, we waited till this late in the show.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I know, because there were so many other things to talk. It actually hit me much earlier, and I just forgot about it. I'm sad that I didn't.
Kyle is sad.
Dude, hold on. Let's pause for a moment of silence while John gets under his desk and gives him a kiss and a hug. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. And on that note, that might be a great way to segue the hell out of here. I don't know.
He needs to go. He needs to go make it up to Kyle.
God, yeah. Yeah. Oh, stop it. That's on my brain now. I just can't get it to go
I've been
away.
saying it now too. Yeah.
Oh my God, it just cracks me up. All right, boys. Well, it was a great show, and we'll be back here same time, same place.
Sounds good. Ev, you or me? Who's doing this one?
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, you did several in a row, so you tell me. All I'm asking, if I'm doing it, get it out there. If you're going to do it, I don't care. Get it done.
I would be able to do it like probably tomorrow afternoon at some point. If I was,
I think
in my opinion, that's soon enough.
I think we need it out by Friday morning. Can we get it out by Friday morning?
I like it before the Thursday game if we can.
Well, that would be nice, but getting it out before the Thursday game is tough.
I did it last week. It's not easy, but it can be done.
Okay.
No, it can be done. I mean, if you can do it,
I should be.
If you can get it done before tomorrow's game, then do it. If not, get it out there and please just text or something when it shows up.
Okay, cool. I'll go for that.
So it's on you.
Everybody good? Evan, your picks next week.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm already started looking at them.
All right, man.
No New England, apparently.
No New England.
Well, we're gonna find out. I mean, I said now.
Please, who do they play?
They play the Jets.
Bye week?
They play the Jets next week.
You definitely want them next week. Come on.
All right, as long as we have to pick against the spread, because that's bullshit. Otherwise,
No. I think you could pick that one straight up and still.
It might be like -3.
Right.
I don't know what it is right now.
Right.
Yeah. If it's a bad loss this week, we may not touch that game. We may not even talk about them.
We will not.
I will say this, Ev. Now you know Joe and I's pain when Kansas City lost. I mean, honestly, I thought about you, and I'm like, this is like when we were watching Chiefs lose to Vegas, the way they played.
Oh, God.
Really more against Denver. It's like this should not have happened. San Francisco's a better team in general than Denver. To lose to Denver is like, oof. But 2 in a row, dude.
Yeah,
it's looking a little brutal.
I feel your pain, but
I could have even been okay with a loss if they'd have just played them tough.
Right, it would have been a good game.
Right, I mean, if you lose by 3, it's like, okay, San Francisco's got some players back and whatnot, but 33-6 in your house, that's just brutal, right? And that's what made it so hard.
I agree.
Yes,
so.
Well, and the Chiefs didn't play a great game. Back to that. I mean, if the Chiefs would have played good, but for some reason Vegas was just lights out, like unstoppable, we'd have been like horrible. We don't know what the fuck happened. It hurt, but at least we didn't suck. But we kind of played a bad game.
Yes,
not as good as normal anyway. It wasn't New England shitty. That's a new adjective, by the way. New England shitty.
I'll be reporting back here next week.
Is that a beer?
Win. So
it should be
shitty beer.
Yeah, it's shitty beer.
Kind of sounds. It sounds
all
like
right,
one.
You report back. Let us know how it goes this weekend.
Big time win.
Big time win.
I can't wait for the bag, dude. If New England loses, I don't care what your record is. You can go 3-0 and everything else. You're wearing a fucking bag, dude.
And just so you know, Evan, we're gonna be texting you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You can't get away. Or you'll be texting us saying,
he'll turn his fucking phone off. He won't even know they come in.
You know what? If they start winning, I'm going to turn my phone off.
Good.
No shit.
Because you'll be getting a lot of messages.
I enjoy those. To be honest, guys, I think they're a lot of fun when we're watching the games.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. All right, boys. Until next time.
All right.
All right.
See you guys later.
Later.